Welcome to Christ Cathedral's weekly Advent reflection. We are celebrating the third week of Advent. I'm Bobby Smith, and I'm grateful to Dr. Hintus van Ruin for being with us today and for sharing his gift of musicianship with us. Today's reflection is on the theme, joy. The word joy, or joyful, appears 242 times in the Bible, including 4 times in the early pages of the Gospel according to Luke. There we read, "The baby we await, he will be a joy and a delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth." As soon as the sound of Mary's greeting reached her ears, the baby in her womb leaped for joy. Mary's neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown her great mercy, and they shared her joy. And the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. We are to be a joy-filled people. And I offer you this poem entitled Advent by Ray Armantrout. In front of the craft shop, a small nativity, mother, baby, sheep, made of white and blue balloons. Sky, God, girl. Pick out the one that doesn't belong. Something close to nothing, flat, from which fatherless everything has come. From the Book of Joy, featuring conversations between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, I read from the chapter entitled, Our Greatest Joy. A next question to Archbishop Tutu. The joy that you are talking about is not just a feeling. It's not something that just comes and goes. It's something much more profound. And it sounds like what you're saying is that joy is a way of approaching the world. Many people are waiting for happiness or joy. When they get a job, when they fall in love, when they get rich, then they will be happy. Then they will have joy. You are talking about something that is available right now without waiting for anything. The Archbishop considered his response carefully. I mean, simply to say that ultimately our greatest joy is when we seek to do good for others. Was it really that straightforward? Did we just need to stimulate and satisfy our dedicated brain circuit of generosity? As if anticipating my skepticism, the Archbishop continued. It's how we are made. I mean, we are wired to be compassionate. Quite literally wired, I thought, based on Davidson's research. We are wired to be caring for the other and generous to one another. We shrivel when we are not able to interact. I mean, that is part of the reason why solitary confinement is such a horrendous punishment. We depend on the other in order for us to be fully who we are. I didn't know that I was going to come so soon to the concept that we have at home, the concept of Ubuntu. It says, a person is a person through other persons. Ubuntu says that when I have a small piece of bread, it is for my benefit that I share it with you. Because after all, none of us came into the world on our own. We needed two people to bring us into the world. And the Bible that we Jews and Christians share tells a beautiful story. God says, it is not good for Adam to be alone. Well, you could have said, no, I'm sorry, he's not alone. I mean, there are trees, there are animals, and there are the birds. How can you say he's alone? And you realize that in a very real sense, we're meant for a profound complementarity. It is the nature of things. You don't have to be a believer in anything. I mean, I could not speak as I'm speaking without having learned it from other human beings. I could not walk as a human being. I could not think as a human being except through learning it from other human beings. I learned to be a human being from other human beings. We belong in this delicate network. It is actually quite profound. Unfortunately, in our world, we tend to be blind to our connection until times of great disaster. We find we start caring about people in Timbuktu whom we've never met and will probably never going to meet this side of death. And yet we pour out our hearts. We give resources to help them because we realize that we are bound together. We are bound up and can be human only together. thank you for joining us for this Advent reflection. May the season of Advent and the coming Christmastide be filled with great joy.